Hi, and welcome to my webinar, Arm Yourself Against Cancer. If we haven't met yet, my name is Leann Forst, and I'm a holistic health practitioner and a certified essential oils coach. I've also authored 2 books, and I regularly speak at profit and nonprofit organizations. And we're going to start today by talking about cancer, and really, to do that, we need to start at square one. We need to start at the beginning. So what is cancer? So cancer refers to a group of related diseases where some of the body cells become abnormal and begin to unceasingly divide and eventually enter into surrounding tissues. This can start almost anywhere in the body, and the abnormal cells that would have otherwise died off actually survive, multiply, and initiate growth of tumors. So tumors, what is a tumor? It's also known as a neoplasm, and they are swollen masses of tissue that have been a result of uncontrollable cell division. Malignant, also known as cancerous tumors, are classified by the type of cancer present as well as their state of development. So depending on the type of cancer, they could either be solid or fluid-filled. Tumors also have the ability to invade other nearby tissues, facilitating further movement of cancer cells throughout the body, and in turn encourage the growth of new tumors, contributing to what is a very vicious cycle. Non-cancerous tumors, which are also called benign tumors, do not spread into surrounding tissues and usually do not cause further tissue or further issues once removed. Okay, so this is a very important slide, very important information. The difference between a cancer cell and a healthy cell is how the cell uses respiration. And once you get this, then you know how to combat cancer, right? So a healthy cell will respirate using oxygen, and this is an aerobic process, where on the contrary, cancer cells thrive in a non-oxygenated environment, which is an anaerobic respiration or anaerobic process called glycolysis. There are many toxins and microbes that we are exposed to that can change the respiration of a cell, a healthy cell, and convert it from aerobic to an anaerobic environment. So cancer, above all other diseases, has countless secondary causes, but even for cancer, there's only one primary cause, and that was summarized in a few words. The primary cause of cancer is the replacement of the respiration of oxygen in normal cells by the fermentation of sugar. So in order for a normal cell to become cancerous, many things must happen. First, you have to have an allowance of a rapid growth. Okay, so the cells must possess a growth factor that prompts them to grow beyond what is necessary. And we'll talk about different growth factors that we're exposed to daily. You also have to have a failure to stop the growth. So the proteins that would otherwise instruct the cells to halt growth and die are inhibited and in turn just become abnormal. And then you have a disregard for bodily signals. The cells also have to evade other signals received from other cells of the body. And then lastly, you have to have a lack of adhesion. The normal adhesion properties of the cells are completely lost. So these are all attributed to gene mutations. So it is overall difficult for a normal cell to become cancerous, but these are possible and necessary changes in order for it to occur. Okay, so let's talk about gene mutations. Gene mutations can occur for different reasons. First, you have genetic mutations, which are truly only 5% of cancers. Okay, that's a very small amount of cancers actually are genetic. And 95% of cancers are actually epigenetic. So this is good news, and I'll tell you why in a minute. So while these factors do not need to be present in order for cancer to develop, these are some of the factors known to increase the risk of cancer. Your genetics may load the gun, but your diet, lifestyle, and environment pull the trigger. That's why 95% of cancers are epigenetic, meaning they are caused by diet, lifestyle, and environment. So that includes processed food, sugar, smoking, alcohol, lack of activity, microbes, toxins, and chemicals. We're going to talk about all of those risk factors, all of those things that we can control. So according to a study conducted in 2008 by MD Anderson Cancer Center, 90 to 95% of cancer cases are due to diet, lifestyle, and environmental factors. So as I just stated, and evidence concluded that cancer-related deaths were due to the following factors. 25 to 30% were due to tobacco use, 30 to 35% were due to diet, 15 to 20% were due to infections and toxicities, and then we have many that were due to stress, lack of physical activity, environment, and radiation. So, and sometimes it could be a combination of these. And now that we have established that the vast majority of cancer can be prevented, let's talk about what you could do to truly arm yourself against this devastating disease. So first, you can always maintain a healthy weight. Next, you can reduce inflammation. You can improve gut health. You can address food sensitivities and intolerances. You could refine your nutrition. We know this is huge. You can reduce toxic exposure. You can manage stress, stop drinking alcohol, quit smoking. You can increase your water intake, exercise regularly, and then adopt a healthy sleep routine. So we're going to talk a little bit more about each one of these in more detail so we can truly have a good understanding. All right. So according to the National Cancer Institute, obesity is one of the major risk factors for cancer. And although the association of cancer with weight is dependent on the type of cancer, the following mechanisms are thought to generally contribute to cancer growth. First, excessive estrogen production within fat cells. Second, an increased level of insulin and insulin-like growth factor. And then next, you have to have the hormones from fat cells have an ability to stimulate or inhibit cell growth. And then fat cells influence on cell growth regulators. You have chronic low-level inflammation. You have an altered immune response, and you have heightened oxidative stress. Okay? So we know that inflammation is a vital immune response. It's our body's natural way to defend against invaders, heal from harm, and repair damage. Chronic inflammation, however, is not so helpful. To have inflammation consistently, the body's ability to recognize, attack, and defend is weakened significantly. When the body remains in this high alert state for an extended period of time, the immune system becomes impaired and lasting damage occurs. So this state of chronic inflammation draws parallels with many of the chronic diseases that we see today, including cancer. And if it is not addressed, more complications occur, such as insulin resistance, autoimmune complications, and tumor progression. So a few of the ways to combat chronic inflammation include boosting your gut health, adopting an anti-inflammatory diet, taking proper supplementation, detoxing when necessary or regularly, treating infections, and managing your stress daily, and then maintaining physical fitness. So first, let's talk about the gut connection. The gut microbiome is an ecosystem of organisms, including bacteria, yeast, fungi, viruses, and protozoan throughout the digestive tract, okay? So far beyond just your digestive health, the immune system, among other organ systems, are clearly and closely related to gut health. Because of this close association between our microbiome and immunity, research suggests that the gut has a very significant role in determining cancer risk. So a few of the most common enemies to gut health include, you guessed it, the standard American diet, then also excessive use of prescription medications, nutrient deficiency, inadequate digestive enzyme processes, toxic exposure, untreated infections, and chronic stress. We know that untreated sensitivities and allergies can cause inflammation, which I've mentioned is the beginning of all epigenetic disease, including cancer. Inflammation, chronic inflammation, ongoing inflammation is the cornerstone of all disease. So some of the most commonly ignored sensitivities and allergies include gluten, dairy, soy, eggs, tree nuts, peanuts, and shellfish. Fortunately, there is a way to test for sensitivities, allergies, and also my favorite is the ALCAT test, which tests at the cellular level. So what we eat, as well as what we don't, can either fuel or discourage the development of cancer. Research has concluded that there is solid evidence that certain dietary habits have a sizable impact on cancer risk. For example, the encouraged cancer prevention diet is a plant-based diet which provides essential minerals, vitamins, antioxidants, and phytonutrients. So this includes non-starchy vegetables such as broccoli, spinach, and beans, whole fruits and vegetables containing vitamin C, vegetables rich in lycopene, vegetables rich in carotenoids, and also healthy oils. We also want to, avoid certain foods that raise the risk of cancer. So we want to avoid high-calorie processed foods, added sugars, excess salt, and red meat. So with the standard American diet being so prevalent, full of processed and sugary foods, it's not a surprise that nutrient deficiency is a real issue. Nutrient deficiency is linked to 33 different diseases, and cancer is one of them. Here are some key deficiencies linked to cancer. Okay, so you can see there and just read through those. And then when I'm coaching clients, I always test for toxicities. And I can say without exception that I always find something. In today's modern society, we are exposed to more toxins than our grandparents were. And now our kids are going to be even worse off than we are. So chemicals do not belong in the body. Our body, if you think about it, is an organic living being, and chemicals are synthetic and man-made. Chemicals can disrupt our DNA, hormones, and immune system. They can change a healthy cell's respiration from aerobic to anaerobic. Do you see the connection? So there are 100,000 chemicals in use today, and over 80,000 of them have not been proven as safe for human health. So it's important to reduce our toxic body burden by reducing the amount of chemicals we are exposing our bodies to every day. Moving toward cleaner, wholesome, plant-based products using essential oils is imperative to correct or maintain one's health. Okay, so what are essential oils? Many of you are not familiar with essential oils, but essential oils are basically natural aromatic compounds that are extracted from plants and used for health benefits. They are 50 to 70 times more powerful than herbs, and they are quite affordable. So even though you think, wow, how can this bottle be affordable? Really, one serving is one drop, and 28 cups of peppermint tea equal one drop of peppermint essential oil. So that's about 8 cents per serving. And then this really tells it all. So essential oils can actually get to the root cause, and they can enter into the cell membrane to combat the threats without building up resistance. That's a real problem right now, is antibiotic resistance, right? Antibiotics cannot penetrate the cell membrane. That is why if you go to the doctor and the doctor says that you have a viral infection, they don't prescribe antibiotics, or at least they're not supposed to, and because antibiotics will not work on a viral infection. So this is an important slide. Here are some proven cancer-fighting essential oils. So you might want to take a picture of that. And you'll want to work with a holistic health practitioner or certified essential oils coach to figure out which oils are right for you, and to have them come up with a comprehensive essential oil protocol for you and your health goals. Okay? But generally, you can combine 4 to 6 of the oils below. But again, work with a certified essential oils coach to determine which ones are going to work for you. So the prevention of cancer is truly a holistic process. And while it's incredibly important to eat nutritious food and drop unhealthy habits and adopt an exercise routine, also getting adequate sleep, none of this would be effective without proper stress management. Stress is the primary driver for chronic inflammation, and in turn is the primary driver for disease. So we have to talk about some of the ways to relieve stress, which include meditation, practicing yoga, gardening, taking a walk, spending time with loved ones, listening to calm music, getting a massage, reading a good book, cooking a yummy meal, and many other ways. You could probably find some of your own special ways to relieve stress. Okay? So this is a big one, unfortunate research here, but based on extensive research, there is a strong, significant scientific evidence connecting drinking alcohol with several types of cancer. According to the National Toxicology Program of the U.S. Department of Health and Human Services, alcohol is clearly listed as a known carcinogen. The research indicates that the more someone drinks on a regular basis, the higher risk they have for developing cancer. And it was once believed that limiting alcohol consumption was an appropriate part of a cancer prevention plan. However, emerging studies have concluded that even a minimal consumption still raises the cancer risk. Okay, so therefore it's best to skip out on the drinks altogether. And then smoking. So we know now that there is no safe level of tobacco use. Tobacco use is a leading cause of cancer as well as death from cancer. The chemical within tobacco products contains contains chemicals that actually directly damage the DNA, which is, not surprisingly, a main contributor to cancer development. All right, so a growing body of research has supported the importance of physical activity in cancer prevention. We've heard this all the time. We have to eat right and get moving, right? So some of the benefits of exercise for specifically reducing the risk of cancer, including regulating your blood levels of hormones, reducing your exposure to dietary carcinogens by accelerating the metabolism of those carcinogens, and then prevention of body fat accumulation. So it's recommended to adopt at least 30 minutes of exercise most days of the week, and this can be done in increments or all at once. The most important advice we can give you for adopting a fitness routine is to make it fun, something that you want to continue to do. It must be something you enjoy doing to ensure that it's something that becomes a lifestyle habit, right? Sleep. Okay, this is one that I definitely know I struggle with. Quality sleep is essential to a proper immune function. It's directly related to your immunity. So it's also related to your healing and your mental health. So ensuring that you schedule in 7 to 8 hours of sound sleep every night also reduces your risk of cancer. And we're told our whole lives how important sleep is for our health, but since science is now too on, that side of the, slumber side, studies have been addressing the relationship of insufficient sleep habits with some of the top cancers in the United States. Yet still 1 every 10 people experience sleep disturbances. So the most shocking part of all of this is that some of these sleep issues can actually be avoided. So some strategies that work for many of my clients is, number 1, creating a sleep schedule and sticking to it, limiting screen time before bed, reducing your caffeine and sugar intake, adopting a nighttime ritual, trying essential oils. There's many essential oils such as lavender and ylang ylang that help to calm the body and put it in the best possible position to sleep. Drinking herbal tea, reading before bed, it's a favorite of mine, as well as supplementing with melatonin or magnesium. Magnesium is awesome because it calms down every part of the body. It's very calming to the body. Okay. So here is action steps. If you didn't catch this, catch them all or take good notes. So first, we know we need to exercise. We need to adopt an anti-inflammatory diet. We need to incorporate gut health supplements. We need to reduce our toxic exposure, embrace essential oils, stop tobacco and alcohol use, and then test for infections, toxicities, and food sensitivities. And then lastly, managing your sleep and stress are very important to your anti-cancer plan. And so that is it for me. Now that I'm concluding the webinar, I do want to invite you to a free gift because I thank you all for spending time with me today. And I hope that the presentation exceeded your expectations and that you feel like you got a few good nuggets from the presentation that you can go on to use in your daily life. So now I'd like to offer a token of my appreciation in the form of a few gifts. If you text the word nutrient to 44222, that will put you on my mailing list. That will send you a free nutrient deficiency quiz. We talked about how many nutrient deficiencies are linked to cancer. So this will give you the quiz that will help you determine if you have nutrient deficiencies. It'll also give you a 30-day free trial of my anti-inflammatory paleo recipe subscription. You'll get an offer for a free phone consult by me. It's a cancer coach. You'll also get my free essential oils for health and healing webinar. You'll get the information of the 30-day cleanse supplement protocol that I personally do 3 times a year. And you'll get my gut and health supplement recommendations. So that is it for me. And I appreciate you joining me today again. And bye for now.